Welcome everybody to Midweek Mindfulness. It's always a joy to be here with all of you. It's another amazing week as we venture into, the next stages of the pandemic. All of our educational systems are getting started. People are going back to work. They're re-engaging out in communal spaces again. And so for many of us, that has increased our stress and increased our need to be really, really mindful with ourselves and with others around us. We're having to change some of those really patterned behaviors that we don't even think about, right? They're things that, like walking down a sidewalk and just smiling and saying hello to the people next to you and not having to put your mask on or pull it up over your nose. Ensuring to slip that mask on before we go into the building, and using the hand sanitizer or washing our hands really, really regularly, really being mindful of how we touch things and maybe not touching our faces. So just all really critical opportunities to increase our mindfulness. So I thought today we would practice, as always, focus on our breath, connect with our bodies, but I thought I also might offer a couple opportunities for people to just really practice bringing mindfulness into your day. So one of the things I've noticed that have been really helpful for me when I'm getting ready to start a Zoom call, or even just to pick up the telephone and to call someone, I like to stop just for a moment, right? So I stop, I take one of those deep cleansing breaths that we always practice, right? And the idea here is that whatever you've been working on, right, which could absolutely have something to do with why you're calling this person, we want to set that aside just for a moment and really pay attention to how our body feels. Because when we're holding a lot of tension in our body, it can activate us really powerfully in the moment when we are now conveying or having a conversation with someone about something, particularly if it's, super important to us. So by stopping just for a moment, calming and relaxing the body with those extra long exhales, right, that activate the parasympathetic nervous system and calm the body down. Again, it opens up the mind and allows us to have full working memory, full short-term memory, as well as access to long-term memory. So it gives us our full and complete self in that moment as we're preparing to have that conversation. Another thing I really like to do, or I find very helpful, is that if I know who I'm going to be talking to next, I like to take that deep breath. And as I'm taking a few of those deep breaths, just bringing them to mind, right? Bringing the image of them as I know them best into my mind. And then noticing how my mind and my body, right, respond just to the thought of that person. If it's something that brings joy, right, so that's something neat to observe. If I don't feel anything at all, maybe I can connect and maybe deepen that connection a little more. If I have a negative response to that person in that moment, perhaps I can use my breath to ensure that my body stays really calm so that I don't become reactive in that conversation in the same way. So again, just an opportunity. You do the same thing with an email. You're getting ready to send the email, you pull up, right, the form, you type in the person's email address, and then we've got to put it in that subject line, right? So before you put in the subject line, stop. Take that deep breath. Relax. Open up the mind, give us full range of our power and our experience, right? The full capacity that we have, really bringing it to that present moment so that we can take a very holistic approach to whatever this email happens to be, so that we're really, really covering all the bases and we're communicating as clearly and as effectively as we might like to. That kind of makes me think of last week when we were talking about how practicing meditation allows us to grow our cup of awareness, so to speak, right? So very often we have that little that little cappuccino cup of awareness. And when something big lands, right, it just spills out all over the place, and we end up just reacting and emoting in that moment. So with meditation practice, we can grow that cup and grow that cup so that things can come in and it can be held in that. And even multiple things can be held at the same time. So I might hold difficult feelings and really helpful feelings and maybe something funny, but all the different feelings I have around that particular person or situation, and holding them all together very often will create a very different sense of balance, and it'll allow us to really, again, be able to communicate more effectively, efficiently, and mindfully. So just some thoughts for today on your mindful practice and how to bring it into your everyday life. So let's go ahead and get into our comfortable position, right? Sitting with the spine straight, the head balanced on top of the neck. For those of you that are recliners, get back into your comfortable position, laying flat, just leaning backward, whatever feels most appropriate to you, where again, we can really relax our bodies, but be mentally alert. And I'm going to go ahead and start our meditation by inviting the bell. So go ahead and start with a nice full deep breath in through the nose. Hold it at the top and really slowly stretch it out on the exhale. When you get all the air out of your lungs, coming back in through the nose, pause. And as you slowly release the breath, notice how your body feels. Really start to connect to your body. And let your next breath be a little more gentle and a little slower on the inhale, and a little more gentle on the exhale. Letting each consecutive breath get a little softer until you come to that place where you can just let go of your breath, let go of the control of your breath, and just let your body breathe. Let's stay with your breath, really noticing whether it's the coolness on the tip of the nostril as you breathe in, the slight warmth on the out breath, maybe it's the expansion of the diaphragm on the in breath. Feeling that rise of the tummy, and then the relaxation on the out breath. But just noticing in this moment where you feel the breath the most easily, in whatever way that manifests for you. And when the mind wanders, as it always will, just take note of where it's gone and what it finds to be important in this moment. We don't want to invalidate that in any way. We want to honor it. And then release it as we come back to the breath, back to this moment, back to the body, back to the sensation, breathing in and breathing out. Now gently scanning with your awareness through the body to notice places where you may be holding tension. All we're going to do is bring our awareness to the place, the brow, the jaw, the shoulders, wherever it happens to be that you're holding tension. Just notice it. There's no need to do anything about it. Just notice the tension in the body. Bring your awareness to that place. And then breathe. And as you continue to breathe, notice on the out breath what happens to those places in the body. Notice your throat, maybe those little muscles around the eyes. Hands, wrists, fingers, knuckles. Just noticing all the different places in the body where you may be experiencing some tension. Again, not fighting it, not trying to stop yourself from experiencing the muscle tension. Just bringing your awareness to it and holding that along with your breath, right here, right now. And then noticing. Again, if your mind has wandered or thoughts keep coming up, no judgment. Just take notice of what your mind thinks is important. And come back to your body, back to your breath. Be very Systematically moving from the crown of the head down to your forehead, noticing what's happening there. And on the next natural out breath, letting go of the crown of the head and moving down to the brows, the eyes, the temples. Notice your ears and your earlobes, the back of your head. Can you feel your hair? Is there warmth, tingling, anything at all? Maybe nothing. Not bringing any judgment to that, just noticing. On your next out breath, releasing this part of the body, moving down into the jaw, the neck, the throat, shoulders, the delts. Just again, noticing what's happening here. And feeling the breath moving in and out of your body. And on the next out breath, sliding down into the upper arms, the elbows. Notice your forearms. Feel the air against the top. Perhaps it's the pressure where your arms rest on your lap or the arms of your chair. Feeling gravity's pull, bringing them downward, holding them safely and securely. And on your next out breath, releasing the arms, moving down to the wrists, palms of your hands. Notice how your awareness just flows into these areas of the body. No movement is required. Feel the knuckles on the backs of your hands. Maybe go down each finger, going through the knuckles until you've reached the tip. Just really nurturing and spending time with these parts of the body that we so take for granted each and every day. And on your next out breath, releasing the hands and the fingers and sliding your awareness into your chest. Notice your rib cage, your tummy, moving down from the back of your neck, come down your spine. Noticing the muscles that hold your body in place. Noticing how this part of the body responds to the breath and the breathing. And on your next out breath, releasing the trunk of the body, moving down into the hips, pelvis, down into the thighs, knees. Again, notice the pressure of whatever you're sitting on or lying on. Feeling gravity's pull, holding us safely in place with just the right amount of pressure, just the right amount of gravity. Maybe noticing just the majesty of it all. But noticing this part of the body, what you may sense or not sense there. Now letting go of this part of the body and bringing the awareness down to the shins, calves, down into your ankles. Notice the tops of your feet. Bottoms of your feet. Feel whatever they're resting against. Noticing that pressure. Noticing your toes and all the way out to the tips of your toes. Again, not judging anything that's happening here, just really noticing what's happening. See if you can let all the rest of you just dissolve in your mind's eye and really focus on your calves and your ankles and your feet. investigate what's happening there. Now releasing the feet and letting your whole body just dissolve. Come just to the breath. Maybe to the tip of the nose and really feel the breath. Anytime you start to notice your body, see if you can just let it dissolve. Feel a little bit more and a little bit more with each out breath. Now, let's take another really nice full deep breath in through the nose and hold it at the top. And on that out breath, start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Bringing ourselves back to our body, back to this place, back to the room. And whenever you're ready, just gently opening your eyes. So thank you so much, everyone. Always a pleasure to be here with all of you. Wonderful energy in the room today. So be well and have a wonderful week. I'll see you next Wednesday.